Hey y'all, what's up? So I'm in my garage just sitting here and I'm just thinking, so I guess I'm just venting to you guys. So if you watch some of my old videos, you'll um see that I rent this house I live in with me and my kids, my family. Um and we also get assistance like help with paying rent. Um, I really don't like telling my business like that because you have so many judgmental people, but you gotta survive. And out here, jobs really don't pay enough for you to how they raise the rent and stuff like that. Like the houses in Las Vegas, if you don't know, they're getting close to the houses like in California. So rent is like really high. But anyway, I say all that to say this. So I have things that I have since I get assistance from the housing out in Nevada. They come and do inspections, and they haven't done an inspection in a while because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. So they just started it back up, and so I'm the type of person like I don't want to make waves for people where I live, but our house is like real shitty. It's like the art. Anytime I try to ask my management to come and fix something without using the housing, they always try to turn it and make it my fault. So I just try like not make waves and try to live okay. And if I can fix stuff myself, then I try to fix it. So they started up doing the inspections, which means they come around and see how the house is, if it's livable, what needs to be fixed. And so they came in and basically said it's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be fixed in this house, and no fault of my own fault. It's clearly maintenance. No maintenance has been done on forever because I've been here 7 years and they've never come and maintenance anything. They like replaced a refrigerator, but my stove, I think I looked up the house like when it was bought and stuff. It was bought in 2010. Like it has the same stove, same cabinets, same. Only thing they changed probably is the flooring, and they took the microwave out and put up a hood where the exhaust. Other than that, everything I seen was the same. So our toilets have been like they're real jiggly. The walls were like real like the baseboards were like soaked all the time. I know toilets leak upstairs. The upstairs bathroom, like if you push your foot on it, it sinks in the floor and sinks in by the tub. I told them about this 2 years ago. They try to say they sent somebody in and they said we threw a TV in the tub or some stupid stuff, so it would be my responsibility basically. And I just say all this to say this: a lot of people look down on people who live in Section 8, saying, oh, you get help from the government to pay rent. Nowadays everybody needs some type of help, and that is what it is. If you don't need help, you don't need help. That's fine and dandy, but a lot of people do need help, and it's not always. The owners always try to make it seem like it's their tenants tearing up their properties, when sometimes it's just badass owners who don't want to take care of the property. They want to just keep the money. Like this house, it said that in 2010 it was $80,000. Now it's worth $350,000, but that's an estimate. But if somebody came and did an appraisal, it would not be worth none of that, because this house has almost everything from, I think when the house was built, has the same, they really never really fixed nothing. And they like to do the bare minimum, and so many people give a bad stigma on people who receive Section 8. And let me tell you, it's not always the tenants, and I don't think it's fair that, like, we are stuck between a rock and a hard place where a lot of people don't want to rent. They want their own place, but sometimes the cards are not in it for them at that point in time. And so, like me, I want my own land. I want my own house, but right now I have to survive. Me and my family, we have to survive. And I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. But we have to survive. And what I'm saying is that it should not be the tenant's responsibility to maintenance an owner's house. And a lot of times people don't know is sometimes that's what people get caught into, because they don't know, they don't have nowhere to go, and they can't afford, especially now, people cannot afford how much they charging for these owners are charging for this rent. And I get it, a lot of owners then lost out on money during, the whole illness situation, and they get it, but that should not fall on the back of the tenants. That should not fall on the back of the tenants to maintain a property that you own, that you decide to rent out. And then they put the stigma that, oh, Section 8 people or low income people tear up our properties, when all along it's just that you don't maintenance your properties. You don't take care of it. You just want the money without the responsibilities. And then you can get kicked out. But no fault of your own. I'm not saying everybody in every situation is the same. Some people do fuck up people's houses. Excuse my language, but they do. They fuck up people's houses. And that's a damn shame, because nobody's house deserves to be fucked up. But when you have the owners that don't want to fix their house at all, but expect you to pay rent, expect you to do this, and they expect you to maintenance their house. Not maintain it, you have to maintain a house you're living in, but maintenance the house. Like, I'm not a fucking plumber. I don't know nothing about plumbing. I'm not an electrician. I don't know nothing about electrician. I know how to change a socket, that's it, from YouTube. I don't know how to put pipes on or fix mold or none of that. I don't know how to do none of that. I like to watch people who do know how to do that, but I'm not qualified to do that, And it just amazes me, So a lot of people, they get on here, they don't talk about the bad parts. They don't talk about the bad parts or situations that they're going through, because there's so many judgmental people on here, who don't know people's story, but they love to include their opinion on their story. And I know people say, oh, it's because you're posting it, you're putting it out there, but some people put their problems out there or their issues that they're going through for either help or to vent or to get help. It's not too much to receive a whole bunch of criticism from people who don't know their story, don't walk in their shoes. And I know majority of criticism comes from it, like in these situations, it may come from homeowners because they own homes and they rent it out and they have stories. I'm not saying that their stories or their issues aren't valid, but that's not valid to everybody in everybody's situation. You understand what I'm saying? So it can be, for people like in my position, it can be like, very stressful. It can be very stressful. I mean, because at this point in our situation, the owners are either going to fix it or we're going to have to move. We're going to be forced to move, and move where? I don't know. Because, like I said, the rent out here is expensive. And it's a lot of people who are struggling right now to find shelter over their head. So I'm not saying that I don't appreciate shelter over my head. It's just that I want adequate shelter over my head. And I don't feel like that's a lot to ask for. Just to not have mold in your bathroom walls because they didn't use mold and mildew paint. So when you use the shower, mold comes on the wall. Like, I paid out of pocket to get the mold and mildew primer, and then the paint, and painted our bathroom walls so the mold would not come through. but then you have pipes that leak, and every time I try to call my management, it's like, oh, that's your responsibility. They even said plumbing was my responsibility. That's crazy. That's crazy. But either they gonna fix it, because like I said, I am in the Section 8 program, and so they did come and do the inspection. So, and to my relief, because every time I call my management, it's, oh no, it's your responsibility. That's your responsibility. The inspector came and he was like, no, all this is poor maintenance on the house. It's all owner's fault. They didn't maintenance the property at all, it looks like. So everything is maintenance for the owners. It's none of it is due to your living here. And mind you, I've been here for 7 years, so I know how to take care of people's properties. It's just that when we moved into this house, like I said in other videos, we were like homeless. We were staying with my sister, and she is only a 2-bedroom, and it was like 7 of us, so that was a no-go. So this came about, and we grabbed it, and I was very grateful. But then when you get in it and you see that, like, they have a tree in front of this property that is like, I want to say it's like 12 feet tall. And because I rent, I am responsible for cutting it down. But the tree was here when I moved here. They trimmed the tree the day I moved in. But now I'm responsible for getting that tree cut down. I don't even think that's right. I don't think that's fair. I don't even think that's legal. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it. But I'll move before I get that tree cut down, because we had someone price it, and they were talking about I think it was $800 to cut that tree down. Like, that tree was here before I moved here, so when I move out, it's gonna be the owner's responsibility to cut that tree down. And I don't even know if I don't know if I'll post this video, but it's just a vent. It's just a rant about, people have the stigma on people who are under like different programs and stuff, like, oh, all they do is tear up people's property, blah 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 blah. But you rarely hear about the other side, when the landlord is just shitty and does not want to take care of their property at all. You rarely hear about that part. It's ridiculous, but it's something that I'm going through right now, but I'm not gonna let that get me down, because like I said, my goal is to have my own land and my own house. And I know when I have my own house, I'm responsible for everything that goes into fixing the place. And I know that fixing the house and doing that is very expensive. I know it. I watch a lot of people, whether I agree with them or not. I watch a lot of owners and a lot of builders and a lot of DIYers. A lot of people. I know maintaining a house is not cheap. But when you have to pay rent, even though I don't pay the full amount of rent, I do pay rent. When you have to pay rent, pay your bills to a property, and they don't want to fix nothing, but they want their rent, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's just... It's crazy. But yeah, I guess that was just a rant. It was just a rant. And not even a rant. It's just, a struggle of the month. How about that? Struggle of the month. Now, this is my struggle of the month. And rent is due next week. Next week. Rent is due next week. Ooh. I don't pay my rent. I pay where I stay. Pay my portion. Anyway, And I know you can probably get people on here who's going to throw insults because that's people. They can't help who they are. But just know that at the end of the day, if you out here struggling, just know it's other people out here struggling too. Everybody's out here going through something. And if you need to vent, then vent. And don't let those people who you feel are going to say something negative or try to throw their opinions in deter you from venting, because everybody needs to vent at some point in time. It's healthy. It's healthy to do that. Everybody needs to just tell their stories, and not try to get on here and just be like, oh, everything's so perfect, because people relate to struggles, and sometimes them relating to your struggle may help them through their struggle. I know a lot of people say that on YouTube, but it's the truth. You become relatable to other people, because when you always out here bragging and say, oh, everything is perfect and blah 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 blah, you're not relatable. Only to, that's not relatable. A majority of these people, they watch these videos to kind of like get up out of their life and look at other people's lives, because sometimes their life is just like draining, and they want to just step out of it for a minute and just you know what I'm talking about. And I think that's what YouTube is about. Now, sometimes you have a lot of people on here, hustling, scamming, blah, 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 tearing people down, building people up, just all over the place. But just, it's okay to show the down parts. It's okay. It's okay to show the down parts, because all days are not happy. You have hard days, you have easy days, you have struggles, you have sometimes that dreams come true. We are human, and that's all that matters. And I guess that's the end of my video, because I don't want to be on here too long. And I hope everybody who is out there struggling knows that it'll get better. I know it'll get better. I know that one day I will have that land in that house. I just got to keep positivity and just know that don't let the struggle, take you out, because tomorrow's a new day and new blessings can come. So, yeah. Other than that, I'm out of here, and hope you guys take care of yourself. Talk to you later.